Just a quick disclaimer for anyone who has not completed every shrine in Breath of the Wild or has completed Lost Kingdom, they should avoid this video as there will be spoilers. Eventide Island was a true surprise of Breath of the Wild. A very creative and fleshed out shrine quest. It was pretty much a survival simulator as you're on this island and you temporarily lose all of your weapons, armor, food, etc. You do keep your runes though, but all the items you have accumulated throughout the game have no use. It will feel like starting the game from the Great Plateau, except you have your experience and knowledge of the game remaining. That is what helps you succeed in beating this shrine quest, as it is no easy feat. This was such a Breath of the Wild, I mean breath of fresh air. The aesthetics of this island, getting the 3 orbs in place, were pretty much 3 micro challenges within the overall Makkal challenge. Eventide was probably because it took away familiarities from you. You can't go up and dump your Hinox with a flame sword. You had to plan a different way, perhaps spamming bomb runes. The point of the matter was that by taking the player away from their comfort zone, they presented them with a new challenge of actually having to plan their way throughout the island. When you play a game for a long time, you gain a comfort and things start to become very easy. This took away that instinct. It became a challenge again. The correlation to the Lost Kingdom of Super Mario Odyssey was that there was potential in this idea that was never executed. So when you first reach the Lost Kingdom, Klepto, that ugly Wazo, steals Cappy from you. When I first saw this, I had flashbacks to the platforming levels of Mario Sunshine, where you had to traverse through tricky situations without FLUDD, and in the more relevant example, Eventide Island. Think about it, the game taught you the variety of moves to be able to traverse across the game differently using Cappy. When Klepto took Cappy away from you, it took away your familiarities. You had to play and traverse without Cappy. This reminded me of Eventide Island because this kingdom was self-contained to an island. But here's where the potential of the Lost Kingdom and the purpose of Klepto lost its luster. So Klepto steals Cappy from you, but all you gotta do is go up the hill, which takes literally a minute, and you get Cappy back. You just ground pound a block, that's all it takes. It was very anticlimactic. I don't get the point of having Klepto taking Cappy from you in the first place. My proposition would be to change the layout of the level, so that Klepto would be at the highest point in the level. Now the beauty of Super Mario Odyssey is that you can do moons in any order. So it should not be a simple linear level of getting Cappy back, like in the Sunshine levels. Getting the other moons in any order should remain, but you had to make it so you had to rely on Mario and his movements only to get Cappy back. Klepto also should have been a boss fight, which I should add is what hurt the Lost Kingdom in general. There was no boss fight. You have to fight Klepto without Cappy. This would actually validate having Klepto in the game. I would also make this a post-game level instead of a precursor to the Metro Kingdom. I think making a Lost Kingdom in this vein would have made it a more memorable kingdom, and executed an idea that would be present but not entirely lacking. Especially since this level is right before the Metro Kingdom, most people's favorite levels in the game, so of course it'll get overlooked. There are over 120 shrines if you include the DLC in Breath of the Wild, yet Eventide is one of the most memorable shrines out there because it changed the paradigm of what a shrine in Breath of the Wild is. For most of us, you likely went through many shrines before stepping upon this one, so when you found out this was a shrine trial, it must have been a surprise. This could have been the same for the Lost Kingdom. It would have changed the purpose of the environment instead of just being dependent on the themes of a tropical island. Making a kingdom not revolve around Cappy, but moving as just Mario to reclaim Cappy would have gave Klepto more purpose and the Lost Kingdom a purpose. Let me know if you think this idea would have boosted your interest in the Lost Kingdom. Thank you for watching.